Hey guys, Mel the Train Tutor here again with another Back to Basics tutorial for you. And in this Back to Basics tutorial, what we're going to be looking at is carving the techniques you can use to carve sort of sculptures and statues out of high density foam. Now what I've got here is a sheet of green extruded polystyrene. Yeah, you've seen me use lots of different colours, pink, blue, yeah, green for the crystals. Yeah, now green is the most highest density stuff you can get in the UK, or is that I've found so far. And if I bring it up, you can sort of see how dense this stuff is, and it's perfect for making sculptures. I'll explain why as we go. But just to be clear, this is not Florist's Oasis, okay? That stuff that florists use for putting their plants in, that green stuff, it's not the same. That's far more crumbly and nowhere near as sturdy as this. Yeah, this is insulating foam. Once again, it's from Panel Systems in the UK, if you're wondering where it's come from. So what we're going to be doing with it? Well, what I thought is I'd do a few simple examples and show you a simple sort of sculpture you can make. Yeah, and then you can take those techniques, yeah, and apply them to whatever you want. When it comes to doing sculptures out of foam, it really is a matter of how much time you want to put into it. Okay, and also how thick your foam is. Now I've only got what's that? Just under, what, 25mm thick? Yeah, so maybe even 20mm to be truthful. So I can't do anything too impressive. So what I'm thinking about doing something that you could stick at the front of the building, perhaps like a dwarf or something like that. So first thing we need to do is cut out a piece, and that's relatively simple because, as all foam, you know, metal blade, sharp metal blade, metal ruler, sharp blade. Yeah, watch your fingers always. And what we'll do is we'll cut a chunk off here. Yeah, about there will do. I'm not being too perfect with this because I just want to show you the techniques. Whenever you're cutting through this stuff, remember, don't try and cut it in one go. A couple of simple slices will do it. Yeah. See, it's tough. There you go. Alright, let me move those out of the way. Right, so we've got a strip. Now I want to block it off to about there. Yeah, about there will do it. Okay, so we've got a block. Now, what shall we do with it? I'll tell you what I'm going to do, yeah, is I'm going to skip the head bit because heads are always way too detailed and you'll be able to pick up the techniques that I want to show you just from watching this. So we will do, how about like a shield design and then perhaps some robes coming off it, a bit of armour in the middle. Yeah, let's do that then. That'll do. Right, I need a template. Back in a second, guys. Right guys, I've got a little template and this is what I'm going to use for the shield, okay? And all I've done is quick protractor, put a curve on it and then just beveled it off a little, okay? And it's not perfect, but it'll do for what we want to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on here, okay? And then with my sharp scalpel, yeah, hobby blade, I'm just going to very carefully cut around it. Only going in a mill, I only need to score the foam for this to get the shape. Okay, there we go. And if I bring it up, yeah, do you see I score there? And the next thing to do is I want the shield to sort of stick out, so I need to take the sort of bevel it back around it. Yeah, and when it comes to this, I'm not going to try and do massive bevels. I just want to get a little bit of an incline into it. So coming in at about 45 degrees, yeah, I'm just going to come along and sort of cut off a sliver. Yeah, back down that one. Yeah, and if I bring it up, yeah, and as you can see, that's immediately you can start to see where the recess is going to be coming in. Yeah, so if I come around here and I'm going to just crack on and just sort of pull this out a bit. So there we have it, guys. Okay, next thing I want to do is, if we're going to put robes on this, I'm getting rid of the head, yeah, because it's just easier, and you know, I don't really, you can do the head yourself, you know, if you've got a spare few hours, yeah, with the techniques you'll be fine. We want the robes to come down, so we're going to want a gap in the middle, aren't we, for the armour. So if we bring the robes to about, bring the robes up like that, perhaps. Perhaps a little bit wider, to be truthful. Yeah, that's okay. Right, so marked out where my robes are going to go. Yeah, and once again, coming in at an angle, I just need to get that bevel. Yeah, you can see where I'm going with that. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take this piece back. Okay, right, before I do, we need to put the corners in. Right, let's put the corners of the cloak in. Now for the corners of the cloak, yeah, much bigger blade, using this. And all I'm going to do is chip away at these corners. So let's bring this bevel list down completely. Right, and it's starting to take shape. Okay, what I need to do is actually pull these cloaks a lot deeper. So let's pull these cloaks a bit deeper, and then we'll have to sort of progress from there. There you go. What's it done? Decided I wanted to pull this bevel back a bit, to be truthful. It was too flat. Yeah, so next job, I'm going to take out this middle bit. Similar techniques, just coming in, small bevels at angles, and it'll be absolutely fine. There you go. Now it's coming together, and you can see the recess. You can see where my, my cloaks are going to come over the edge. Okay, right, let's detail this up some more before we go on to the next stage. Basically, right now I'm just showing you the basic cutting techniques, the idea of small slivers, beveling it down and getting your basic geometrical shape. Let's throw something in the middle there. Tell you what. Right, so there we have it, guys. Yeah, you can see it really starting to come together now. Now that's basically all the cutting techniques I need to do for this. Yeah, the next bit we need to move on to is sanding. Yeah, and when it comes to sanding, what I've got here is 150 grit paper. Just had to double check then. Yeah, and what I'm going to do is start to smooth this out a bit. You should wear a dust mask when you're doing sanding and sanding foam, obviously as you can tell off camera I am. So, sanded, and it's starting to take shape. Right, obviously I've got these bits in here as well, and fiddly little bits that I'm struggling to get at. Yeah, and in that case what I'm using is, I'm using one of these. Now I got this from Foreground, it's one of their building sanding tools, but it's perfect for this sort of work and precision fire and precision sanding. So there you have it. You can see by using that Foreground tool, or any sort of, I mean, you could run simple sandpaper over a bit of balsa wood, you know, but using that small sort of precision tool to get in the gaps, sand off the areas that you can't do with normal sandpaper. Now that's not the only sort of sanding that you can do when it comes to these sort of things. And let me go searching for the right bit of kit. Is that the one? Yeah, that'll do. Okay, what I want to do now is put the robes in, okay, and put the sort of cloth. Yeah, so another technique that you can do to do sort of smooth curves and stuff like that is use your hobby files. And you can use any sort of files if you've got larger ones. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come here, I'm going to hold it right along one of the edges, yeah, on the side, and just very carefully, right, yeah, and sanding a little impression, yeah, and coming along, do another one, a bit further across, yeah, and another one there. Okay, so if I bring them up, yeah, you can see how by simply using a file I've been able to put those sort of robe lines in. Now they're not perfect, yeah, because they look a little bit too rigid. Okay, so get a different file, one with a bit of a bevel on it, come in and just simply do the edges. And there you go, guys. Yeah, and you see it's starting to take a far more organic look of robes. Yeah, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly do the other side with exactly the same technique, and then we'll be come back and I'll show you a couple more techniques. Right, I'll see you in a second because I've also got to swap the SD card because it's full. See you in a sec, guys. All done. SD card changed. Right, guys, yeah, so I've done the other side quickly, and as you can see it's starting to look robish. Now as I said, it's only a basic one, I'm just showing you the techniques. Now if you look at it, you can see a couple of sort of tears, yeah, where the blade has caught the foam and we haven't been able to sand it. And in this case what you need to do is step in with the putty. Now in this case I'm using a little bit of milliput, green milliput, yellow milliput. Yeah, you can use green stuff. I mean, you can use thick filler, okay? But it's just a matter of getting your putty and just filling the gaps with your various sculpting tools. So, clay shaper. So if I bring that up, yeah, it is as simple as that. So what I'm going to do now is quickly just fill a couple of these holes. Yeah, fill that edge there and do a little bit of work across there. Yeah, and just neaten it up. Right guys, bit of a rough and ready job, a real rough and ready job, but you get the idea. As you can see, all those little tears and divots, yeah, I've patched up, okay, and we've got it to essentially a smooth shaped surface. Now obviously we've got a recess here and a recess here. Now we've covered the cutting techniques, we've covered the sanding techniques, we've covered all the inserts and all that sort of stuff. The last thing that we need to do is sort of covering adding stuff back on, adding on details. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a bit of a chest detail on it, and we're going to put a bit of an emblem on the shield, okay, and we're going to do that by cutting out thin slivers yeah, of foam, yeah, shape them and then glue them on. So what I'm going to do now is very quickly prep my foam. Okay, okay, it's really rough and ready, but you know, I don't want to spend an hour cutting a sliver just to show you this technique. So, yeah, little sliver of foam, and what we're going to do, and this is going to be really rough and ready, let's cut some sort of hammer. How was that for a rough and ready hammer? That's a real quick job. Right, let's put a little bit of detail on it. Where's my sculpting tool? Where's that other one gone? There. So that's... There you go. How's that for a rough and ready hammer? Right, if you obviously, this has been cut freehand and put together really quickly, guys. Yeah, obviously, if you want something more detailed, all you need to do is print out the design in black and white on a piece of paper, and then pin the paper to your thin sliver of foam, and use that to cut out your more detailed, what you call it, your more detailed shape. And of course, you can always do it out of cardstock as well. You know, you don't have to use foam. It's just what I've got in front of me, and I just wanted to show that you can. It'd help if it was open, but you can, what you call it, do it out of foam if you want to. So we're almost there. Right, let's put a bit of PVA on this and see if it looks alright. probably look horrendous. There we go. Looks horrendous, doesn't it? But you get the idea. Yeah, obviously a little bit more planning and prep and you can do something a lot better, but simple techniques to add detail back onto your sculptures. Yeah, now I'm going to do something similar here. Should I, or should I just engrave it? Yeah, sorry, let's do it. Let's have a look at that. Right, that's thinner at the top there. Fits there, so let's put a little bit of a curve into it. So there we have it, guys. I've cut it to shape, I've beveled the edges, and I've just got a ballpoint pen and engraved a little bit of detail on there just to show you can engrave detail onto these things with a ballpoint pen very well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it and pin it there. Okay, so let's do that now. The reason I'm pinning it is because this is uneven, so I need to hold it down. There you go. So then it's pinned in, yeah, and that's going to hold that in place now while it dries. Now the only remaining thing that we need to do, and I'm not sure I can do it just yet, we'll give it a go, is I just want to ruin the top here because it's got no head obviously. Yeah, so I'm probably going to knacker that as I do it, to be truthful. Yeah, but that's me rushing to show you this tutorial. Hey ho, never mind. Right, so let's put some bevels in this. Now, I'm being a dirty cheat and pulled the pins out even before it's glued. Now, do you see that little gap at the top where I've joined them? When it's glued, it'll be nice and flat and you'll be able to go in with your milliput and just seal those over. So don't worry about that. Okay, so there you have it, guys. Yeah, one sort of dwarven, armoured, robed sort of statue to go up against a building, if you imagine. Yeah, an entrance or something like that. Now, it's not the best piece I can do. I mean, I've hardly invested any time in it, to be perfectly honest, and if I was doing this properly I'd probably put a good day into one of these, yeah, with all the detailing. But I've covered all the basic techniques you need to cover. The only thing to sort of make this more detailed and better is just time and attention. Yeah, you know the cutting techniques, you know the sanding techniques, you know how to use the files now, you know how to patch all your rips and your little divots and the difficult places with milliput. I've covered using thin foam and doing detail in that, yeah, on here and here, and add it in to add the detail back on. And with those essential skills you should be able to sort of replicate any sort of statue you want within reason. Yeah, now obviously start small, practice, build up, just get a little bit and try make something simple like this. Try making details. You will mess up, yeah, it's part of the learning curve, but with all terrain, you know, the more you do it, the better you get, and the more time you invest into a piece of terrain, the better it is. Okay, so with that I am going to leave you guys, yeah, because I think that covers it. Oh, covering it, yeah, covering it. Okay, typically what I do is I give it a wash of sort of watered down filler and a PVA mix just to seal it and to seal up all the holes. You can use things like foam coat and various other stuff. You can use a very fine textured paint. Yeah, it will pull it all together and it will look great. Now, you'll probably see this painted in a future project or something similar, you know how I roll. It'll be coming up shortly, guys, fingers crossed. See, that's wiggling. So guys, there you are, carving statues out of high density foam. Hope you liked it, guys. As always, yeah, anything to add, throw it in the comments. Yeah, any questions, throw them in the comments. Like it if you like it, share it if you know anyone who would find it useful. And as always, guys, yeah, if you want to help me make better tutorials with better camera kit and stuff like that, considering throwing me $1 a month on Patreon. Every penny helps. But remember, no pressure, because whether you do or you don't, I'll be back with another tutorial soon, guys. All the best, yeah? Ta-da.